This Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Challah in the article Osbar edition on Daf Chaf Amud Aleph. Rabbi Ba Bar Rabbi Chia B'Shem Rishur ben Levi, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines down. And the Vilna, it's on the last two words on Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph. Rabbi Ba, and then it goes over to the side of the page. And this really is Rabbi Paskin the Maisa. Rabbi Ba, Rabbi Chia B'Shem Rabbi Shua Levi said, it says here mechuvar as usual with a vav, it should be mechuvar with a vav base. There's no mechaber which can connect, unites the dough, but you see the one dough. The shivas maskin vav other than the shivas amashkin, which are yad shachadam, right? But not the has them out of order. It's tal, mayim, yain, shemen, dam, chalav, dvash, tvorim, but not neiperos. Neiperos are not mechubar. So Rabbi Yossi Boy it says my son was challah tuma was to what respect was it stated either for challah or tuma. Item challah because the challah that neiperos are not a chibur. Koshkin the tuma they're certainly not a chibur for tuma. Item tuma, but if you say they're not a chibur for tuma. For challah, it's not necessarily so. In other words, it could still be a chibur for challah. It was clear to him, challah, it's not a chibur, and koshkein, l'tuma, so if a tuma is not a chibur. Rabbi Yonah was his follows his line of reasoning, which is known to us. The Rabbi Yonah learned Rabbi Shimon Chai. The learned the name of the price name Rabbi Shimon Chai. Rabbi Shimon Levi Tani Rabbi Shimon Chai, and Rabbi Shimon Levi also learned the price name Rabbi Shimon Chai Tani Rabbi Shimon Chai. Rabbi Darfan Omer Nemar Kal Kan Challah. It says here Challah. V'nemar Lahalon Chalas Lechem Shemen. The Challah says Pamir says Chav Chalot Muchuma. I see a Parshas Miluim. V'Salmas Hashem Neshem Lakach Chalas Matzah Chas Lechem Shemen, etc. So it's Gzeir Shava Chala. So the Gzeir Shava is Machal Shneim Lahalon the Chala, which is stated by the Miluim, is Asuyah B'Shemen. Have Chala Shem Makana Asuyah Shemen. And here too, the challah is made out of oil. It's made of oil. The shemen echem shivas hamashkinu, and shemen is one of the 7 types of beverages. So therefore, we infer has to be one of the 7 types of beverages. Rabbi Shem Rabbi Shabtai Rabbi Chia b'Shem Rabbi Shem Lakish l'challah al tiyatzadim odem mahalech arba milim. Actually, I should add on before we go on the previous conclusion. So Rishur ben Levi holds that may pairs not going to be chibur, neither not for challah and so not for tuma. Okay, now this challah is which went down in the Yerushalmi in Brachas Ber Ches and the Bavli Psachim Daf Mem Bav. A person is on the road and he has a dough to knead, and within 4 million there's a person needs doughs needs the doughs betara. So you should wait until you reach that. The kneader who needs those betara, obviously you're saying chalash bitor. So Rabbi Chia, Rabbi Yossi B'Shem, Rabbi Shabtai, Rabbi Chia B'Shem, Rabbi Shem Ben Lakish. The chalati is saying if you have to knead a dough and you want to do betara in order to preserve the tar of the challah, or if it's time you want to wash to eat bread. So adam ach arba milim, you have to go 4 milim. Rabbi Avo, you have to wait. Amount of time it takes to walk the 4 meal. If you can. I mean, if you're able to, within that waiting period, to reach a gabal who does it to a tara or a water to the Sinai. It's only in front of you. But to go backwards, if you're on the road, that you don't have to go back at all in order to find a gabal who does a tara or to find the Sinai. I believe that there's somewhere in the Bible that says a meal. You do have to go back, but I have to take responsibility of that on that without looking it up. Anyway, so so many ganos by this and people are stationary. They are watching gardens and orchards. Mat Avilan. What is the status? They are like If people who have in front of the water, they have to go for a meal. They have people who have back in the water, don't have to go even a meal. From here. A woman can sit in her house and take off challah when she's naked. This woman who's taking off challah naked, she's not at home. We say we're not matriach on her to get dressed in order to make a bracha on our freshest challah. Here also ain't matrichin olav. We don't make him move at all in order to find water for the Tzias Yadayim. The problem is that we said a woman take over Truma room and still make a bracha. So Article brings down, even though it's theoretically a woman can make the bracha naked, as we saw in the past, nevertheless, it's not appropriate as l'chatchila, and yet nevertheless, especially because she might touch places which are not clean, and she has to make it, it's preferable to make it also standing up, and the only way she can cover air is by sitting down and crunching up. So now we see we're in matriach. Why? And the Master says, in order not to be interrupted in her work. Go to Malacha. So therefore also Shem God's Pareis, and we don't interrupt in the work to make them go look for the water. Tani, Mamai Shiv Ne'emazam Rishus. Water before the washing the Yosadayim for eating is optional. So Achar Mazon Chayva. After the water of Ma'achronim, which we know is because of this danger of the sodomite salt, which blinds the eyes, that is mandatory. El should be shaynim netel mafsik. Just by Mayim Rishonim, you have to put on your hand 2 times. First time you put it on, the water that brings purity to the hands, and the second time you purify the water, which became tummy because of purifying the hands. But after Muslim, the second of the ones, notel in the mafsik, you don't have to do it 2 times because just rinsing off the sodomite salt. Mao mafsik. What does it mean? Mafsik interrupt. So like we said, you wash again. So Rabbi Yaakov Bar Yitzchak boy, Rabbi Yitzchak asks, Noitel b'shoina, you have to do it twice. Ata marta rishus. If you're saying they have this chumrah, they have to wash twice. How can you call it rishus? It's an interesting question. So it says in the boy. Rashi changes the Easter boy, but the principle is really the same. Easter boy meima arbas milim v'atamar rishus. And he said some say a question he asked, which makes relevant to our study. He said that some say you have to go for a meal in order to find the water, and you're saying it's optional, right? Come on. The Gemara doesn't answer that. Yeah, there's rishus. It says it's highly recommended, I guess, but not absolutely mandatory, so to speak. Rabbi Yaakov he said a famous Gemara also. So let's put down the Bible a couple of places that there was a Jew who sold Jews kosher meat in his restaurant, and non-Jews he sold non-kosher meat. And the Jew came in and washed his hands, and the owner thought he was the guy and gave him pig's meat. So which are not washed, pig's meat was eaten. And the second one, the woman got divorced. A man left money in the hands of his innkeeper Erev Shabbos, and when he wanted back after Shabbos, the innkeeper denied it. While they were speaking, he saw that while they were speaking, he saw there were still lentils on the lips of the Bus. He went and said to the wife, "Your husband told me to give you my wallet," and the simon was that he ate lentils today. And when when the husband found out about it, he divorced her because people wash my clothing. They normally wipe their hands, or wipe their mouth. So anyway, so obviously that was a good thing. They didn't wash their clothing, but we just say you never can tell what the ramifications and the severity are of not washing. Some say that he killed his wife, and then his son came in and protested the killing of his wife, and he killed his son, and then he went up to the roof and then killed himself. 3 people died because the Mayim Achronim was not washed. So so we learned that a woman can take off. We're going back to the issue of a woman taking challah naked. The fact that a woman can take challah naked, and obviously it's brought down here. I got this discussion which we had. Was it in our Mishnah here? Was it? Oh yeah, it was in our Mishnah. Sorry, it's brought down here because it was in the Mishnah. It's part of the Mishnah. So it said that a woman can take off challah naked, right? So hadamara agavas mishum erva. That means that the backside has no issue of erva. The buttocks. That's true about a bracha. But to look even to look at a glance, it's usher. And that's in terms of it's looking at a woman. The Tani learns a mistake of somebody who looks, who gazes, actually is proper translation. Isha, even at the heel of woman, if he's gazing at her lasciviously, he was talking based on he's looking as though he's looking at her genitals. Based on somebody who looks at her genitals, it's as if he actually has relations with her. So therefore, yes, anything which says Emem Shumera is relative to whatever Halakha Toiba is not necessarily true across the board. Shmuel said Kobi Isha Erva. The voice, and our Masoras is talking about specifically singing voice, and a woman is Erva. Matam, why? Vayami Koz Nusav Latechanafa Aretz V'Gomer. This is a pasuk. It says that Yirmiyahu Gimel Tes, that from the sound of his nus, the land was flattered, negatively impacted upon negatively. So therefore, we see that the sound of the women singing is supposed to be avoided. A person can stand on excrement and daven, as long as his foot does not touch the excrement. The assumption is that excrement is a hole and his foot covers the hole, and then that's it. Okay, you normally can't daven in the presence of excrement, but the foot covers the hole as long as the foot is not itself touching the erva. The flesh of the foot. Yoshev Lokinech Oser. A person who sat, in other words, he went to the bathroom, and he didn't wipe himself afterwards, is not to read Shema. And the Bavli, brought down here, Yerushalmi says, the Yuma says, if you can see the excrement still, if you looked at his anal opening, so it's Pasha is Oser. If you can't see it, so only a Torah Malchei Shoris. Torah is given to angels. It can't be always perfectly wiped, so to speak. So it's talking about where you sit and you can see it. If you stand, you can't stand, can't see it. It's also Richma. So again, there is some sort of excrement there, which depends on its situation, but it doesn't mean you have to be completely wiped clean. Amar said, "Avagav Lamar Rabbi Yossi should be Rabbi Huna." Even Rabbi Huna does not actually say this statement. Amar Kavasai said a similar statement. What's a similar statement? The Rav Huna said, "Omedu Adam Agabi Tamispala." Person can stand by, like we just said, on its own Adam Bachelay Beson Nogay Beson. So as long as the flesh not touching the excrement. That's similar to Yashav Lokinech because Harei Beson Nogay Beson, because of the definition. Somebody who sat and didn't wipe himself, his flesh is still touching the excrement. So obviously those two, the statement, one of the statement was Rav Huna didn't make, it's still implicit in his statement that is the case. We'll stop here for today.